Hello, it's Joona here. This is my first time-lapse video of a new piece that I made called Astro Dunes. I usually don't name my pieces, but for some reason, just because I'm making a video, I have to had to name it. So here I'm just basically bringing everything to Photoshop and cleaning everything that's to be cleaned. I don't like to do the cleanup in Lightroom. I usually don't do most things in Lightroom. Maybe some really small subtle things. And I start to work on this rim of a CD. There's like this light kind of happening at the edge of a CD, using the color dodge to kind of make it look like some type of like moon bow or halo effect or otherworldly phenomena. Then I just do some tweaks to the sky in Camera Raw and start to cut myself out of a photo. I end up using like a really small brush that's slightly feathered and making sure that the spacing is nice so that it's not super cramped. Like if the spacing is extremely tight, then you get your computers, especially with high megapixels, your computer's gonna kind of start to lag a lot. So basically I'm just drawing an outline with the quick selection tool around my body. Basically, I'm drawing an outline. I'm using the paint bucket tool to kind of get rid of everything extra there, and then just making it a selection by pressing Q. Now I'm just gonna start to edit the sand dune photo. I need to clear everything, the sky, everything that's there. It was actually a mining site, so there's a lot of extra stuff there. Sometimes I use the quick selection tool. A lot of times I like to do it really cleanly, and therefore like using the path tool Path is probably the best option that I've found anyways. I have the selection, and then I just basically cut it out, and I move the sky image to the dune image. I noticed that the background is way too big in the sand dune image, so now I have to compensate for it. Then I'm just trying to find a really good place where to put myself, where I'd be standing in this view. I'm gonna put myself to the right hand side. Then I have some of these spots where there's some light bleeding, so I just figured that I'll use some tool to get rid of it and even out the edges. So There's a little bit of cleaning up to do in the foreground section, because I find that these kind of things, they're a little bit distracting. I'm removing some of the excess stuff that's not showing, just to make my computer run a little bit faster, because these images, you know, I'm using my camera's a 42 megapixel camera, so they're extremely heavy files. Here's a quick tip. I'm using the black and white layer and then curves to adjust contrast levels. I find that it helps, even though the blue is really off now in the foreground. It doesn't really matter, because I can set that later on. I'm actually doing it now. It's funny, I actually thought that I'd be using this sky, but it seems like I just can't make it fit to the image, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all about the process, and this was part of the process, so there really isn't any point in me censoring it. I would have never ever made it bit like completely white, but it was just so that I can see everything, and then I'm just trying to fade it, but no, it doesn't work. So I just delete it completely. Okay, now I'm just flattening the image so that I made a duplicate. I saved it again as a B version, and then I'm basically starting the luminosity masking once it's flat, so that I treat it as if it was a photo. I'm using Lumenzia to pick out some of the dark spots in the Milky Way, and then just adjusting the crunch levels, I mean the contrast levels of the thing. This is probably my favorite part of the editing, because I can really control where the eye goes. I noticed that you can darken the dark part of the halo. I thought that was a kind of like a nice artistic choice. Again, adjusting the highlight levels so that I get those, so that I can kind of like emphasize the shape of the dunes. It really doesn't help if you're using global adjustments. I prefer to use like local adjustments that are only applied to certain color or like certain tones, like certain luminosity values, I should say. Yeah, I hope you liked it. Here's the end result. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.